didn't set it right the first time. Very nice. All right. Well, I just want to show you. This does not happen often. But there are some days when I leave the house that even with my shoes, I accidentally matched everything. So some days you get lucky. I don't know how that happened, but that was my day today. I can guarantee you if I match my clothes, it was completely out of an accident. Not quite giving the Adam Sandler look with everything that I wear, but pretty close sometimes. So, how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good night. We're going to get started very quickly here. And we're going to be playing with two beautiful, beautiful kettlebells this evening. Just going to do a little rolling here. Oh, man. Oh, you have plans for the weekend? Go out and do anything exciting? Just remember, Sunday is Mother's Day, so if you have a mother in your life, reach out, say hi, see if they need help. If it's your own mom, thank them, maybe. Something to think about. All right. One psoas down for a second. Now the other. So tonight, we're going to be playing around with the push press because I love push press. It sounds kind of silly to say out loud, but it's a lot of fun to do. We're going to break it down pretty quickly, and we're actually going to make that part of the warm-up. You've heard me refer to this exercise a few times in Pilates. Let me talk about if you're not quite have the ability to do, say, a roll-up while keeping your feet on the floor, and use a little momentum, right? Kind of speed that process up a little bit. Which is not something you can always do. It's not something we always want to do. No, we don't need to quite see the ceiling there. There we go. But what I love about the push press is that it does give you a little bit more work in your legs. And, of course, that didn't adjust where I wanted it to, but why would it? Who cares? There we go. So push press, just go as before actually the workout, warm up. So if this is my press here, right? The push press, I'm going to give myself a little bit of momentum, for lack of a better term. I'm going to bend my knees and kind of spring through the legs by pushing my feet through the floor until I get the bell up a little bit easier. Then when it comes down, I'm going to catch it like so. So that's going to require your core to be engaged while you do this. You're going to work your glutes, you're going to work your legs. So one thing you're going to think about is safety, right? Always. So as we do this, we want to make sure that as I'm here, right, my normal pressing stance that we've gone over quite a few times, as I bend my knees and I come up, I want that weight to stay over this foot, right? Because it's on the side. So as I'm here, I spring up. As it comes up, I press. It is a straight line from the bell down to my foot. And as it comes back down, I'm going to come in here and catch it, right? Now, what I mean by making sure the bell stays directly over the foot, you don't want it to come up out here, right? We want that bicep by the ear still. Just make sure it doesn't get away from you. And when it comes back down, it's coming right into here. And again, we don't want it out there because that's not going to be right over your foot. Or too far back. It's going to hurt the shoulder a little bit. So if this is not something you're comfortable doing, I would highly recommend doing it with a lighter weight before you ever go up with a heavy weight, because this can help you get heavier weights up, but it can also hurt you that much better if done incorrectly. So, as I warm up, do some halos here. Remember, if you're not working out and you're of age, every time I say the word so, take a drink. Every time someone types in the word so, take 2 drinks. If you are working out with me, maybe drink water instead, or in some cases tea. If you want to be reckless, you can drink while you work out, but I don't recommend that at all. And that is entirely, I really don't recommend you drink at all. That is not a responsible thing to do, even though I thoroughly enjoy it. But, or just laugh at how ridiculous my vocabulary is sometimes. You can always get away with that. Oh. Done a lot of bike riding already, so my legs are a little tired. That's another reason why I kind of want to do this and kind of seeing how far I can push myself. I brought these kettlebells from home because I'm going to be doing double push press. And whenever I use 2 kettlebells at the same time, that are the same weight, I like to make sure they're the same size. Because if not, if the handle's a little different on one than the other, it just kind of throws me off. I know the weight's the same, but if one handle's thicker than the other, or if the distance between the handle and the bell is shorter on one. And, in all fairness, that could all just be in my head, so I have no problem admitting that. One more squat here. So again, we're just going to keep it rather simple. And every other exercise is going to be push press. I generally find for myself mentally, simplicity, especially on Friday night, is a lot easier to do, a lot easier to think about. Or, depending on where you are in the world, maybe it's really early Saturday morning for you. Who knows? Alright. Now, it is warm here in LA, finally. It's been a nice hot day. Which means my hands are super sweaty, so there will be a lot of shock tonight. The next thing I'm going to do to finish this warm up, do some dead stop swings here. If anything, it's just kind of there are people that walk through this alley all day, and they don't know that we can hear them. Alright, 5 dead stop swings. If you've been tuning in every night, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Mondays we're doing animal flow, Wednesdays we're doing Pilates, Friday tends to be more personal training, fun stuff like this. So before we really get into this, I want to make sure we go over how we engage our abdominals and the difference between the two. With animal flow and Pilates, there's a lot more of, for lack of a better term, pulling in and out. I'm sure there's a better term, it's just not coming to me right now. We're trying to elongate the distance between the bottom rib, that's the hip, the top of your hip, and your bottom rib, right? So as we lengthen, we're going to kind of pull in and up, not letting my diaphragm drop, right? So now I can curve, I can arch my back if I want to. I don't want to do any of that while I'm lifting weights tonight. So as I do this, I'm going to inhale and create some intra-abdominal pressure. And I'm actually trying to shorten the distance between my bottom rib and the top of my hip, right? So Pilates in flow, personal training. Right, so now I can't bend, I can't go into flexion, I can hinge, but I can't curve my back, right? But that's not what we want to do here. All right. Now, these are 24 kilogram kettlebells, 53 pounds each. I'm going to do 5 desktop swings with these kettlebells. Now, I haven't done too many, if any, double bell workouts here. Okay. One of the things you might notice if you do tune in often is that my stance for a swing or a snatch with one kettlebell is about this wide, and for a double kettlebell it's going to be about this wide. So that's going to change some things as well, as far as the trajectory of the bell, the clean or the hike. And the clean and the swing is going to be a little more squatty as opposed to the D-pins that I was going to get with just one bell. Because my legs are wider and you may not be able to tell, but I have a really short torso. So it's super squatty. Alright. So, it's okay. You can tell I'm here, I'm more winded than normal at the beginning of the exercise. But last night, I had the wonderful pleasure of going to a concert with my daughter. That's another reason why she's not here tonight. We stayed up way too late last night and saw sleigh bells at the Fonda. That was a lot of fun. And even while I was there, I was like, I think tomorrow's going to be a double kettlebell day. And we're going to slay these bells. Alright. So this first set, I'm going to do head on. I'm going to clean and do push press. Let's see how this works. I mean, I know how it's going to work, but. That's enough for now. The number might go up a little bit as we get going. And part of it is that initial shock of catching the bells all the way down as opposed to pushing them up. It's a lot easier. It's a good show though last night. I had a good time. One of the hard parts about seeing a show in a smaller venue is people don't like to dance for some reason. So we found a row where it was the back row in the balcony, but you can still see the stage perfectly. The font is amazing. If you ever have a chance to go there, highly recommend it. But we want to make sure that we can dance and not bother anyone, and not block the view for people behind us. So we got to do that. It was a good time. And my legs were a little sore this morning, so. Because sometimes, it's awkward too, because you gotta like dance like sideways, right? There's not a whole lot of dance space between the rows of seats. All right. Now we're going for front squats. I'm going to clean both of these. We're going to do 5 front squats. You never want to see me do a back flip? Well, one night, I'll do a back flip on this stream. But it's been a while, so just make sure you get 911 ready in your area. Hello, 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, some 46-year-old jackass is trying to relive his 20s. He'll be on the floor waiting for you, don't worry about it. So the last time I did a backflip was when I turned 45, so I can still do it. Alright, this time I'm going to do the push press sideways. Part of this is because I do keep these videos up. I want to make sure and go back and look at it and make sure that my weights stay where they're supposed to. And feel free to critique it as well, so if you see something wrong, point it out. Like, hey, idiot, it's not how that works. Alright, here we go. And on that last one, I almost felt like I curved my back a little bit on the way down, so I'll go back and check this as well tomorrow. I will honestly say, one of the best things you can do is film yourself when you work out, especially if you work out alone. Because it feels, I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels very oddly narcissistic, right? Where you're just like, I'm gonna work out and then watch myself later. But once you get over the weirdness of that, it is one of the most helpful things you can do because you're really just giving yourself a form check, right? And you might think, oh yeah, I get that press by my ear every time. And then you watch the video and you're like, oh, actually it's 11 o'clock instead of noon, or 12 o'clock. So that's, I highly recommend that for anything that you do. Alright, now we're going to do 5 continuous swings. Yeah, it's just a fuzzy mufflers that I saw that I thought was a towel. Whew. Oh, man. All right. But even if I can't do a backflip, I can still do a handstand, so that's pretty cool. The problem with any jumping activity is that no matter how much work you put in, every year it feels like that vertical gets just a little bit lower. And it's kind of every year, I'm not gonna say an inch, but it's I'm sure there are people out there like, that's not true. I can jump now. Good for you. Congratulations. Alright, 5 continuous swings.
is, to me, something that just feels really good about being able to fling around a whole bunch of weight. Now, obviously, I'm not just like flinging weight. There's controlled, right? But I think because I've been doing this channel for a while now, and I've been talking to other instructors, like Jonathan was in here when Gav came in last week and worked out with me. I've been thinking a lot more about how this whole journey got started for myself. And I've talked about it 2 weeks in a row. I don't really need to go back into that story. But the reality of the inability to move that I had before doing Pilates, which was, for me, it was a very odd thing to realize that I had lost a lot of what I worked toward to get in the years of diving and even skateboarding, right? Not having the stamina to go out and skate all day, not having the ability to really do an ollie as well as I used to. So this, and Joe's book is called Return to Life. And for me, and the things that I love to do, that's exactly what it did. So it's been an odd, abnormal experience. I loved every fucking step of it. So it's one of the things that makes this channel so much fun to do with you guys. All right, here we go. Push press. What I forget about this is that as my abs are engaged the whole time, when they come back down, you catch them. It's almost, even though you're not curving your back, it's almost like an extra crunch at the end. So, drink. Now that you've seen me do this a few times, and maybe you've done this a few times on your own, you can see how this would be a great exercise to get some weight over your head that you cannot do in a strict military press. Yeah, right? So this next setup, I'm going to do a Turkish get up here in a second. But after that, what I'm going to do is, instead of catching it here, I'm going to very slowly bring them back down, right? Which is what I would do to progress to being able to push press, or to be able to do a straight military press without having to bend my knees and do a little bit of a push press. Sometimes you'll see people do it even on action, just a little whoop. So, all right, let's do this get up here. This is another one I really enjoy. I don't think there's one I don't enjoy at this point, but you never know, something can come out of the woodwork, surprise me. Nope. I'm not doing the Doppelheimer. That's a stupid exercise, right? Whatever that would be. And also, I talked about this a little bit on Monday with Animal Flow. Since doing more Animal Flow in the past few weeks, the part where I put my foot behind me to stand up that you're about to see me do with my right foot in a second, the mobility in that foot and or in both feet has gotten much better, and I thought it was good. So the fact that this is even easier to do, or should I say, more comfortable to do, is a big bonus. So, sorry, drink. I had talked to you all quite a few times about different pressure points hitting different nerves in your hand. I talked about it while doing reformer, getting your whole hand on here and crushing this with your pinkies. And I think I told you I got that from kettlebells, right? But if you watch, you might notice that I have different hand positions depending on the exercise that I'm doing. For example, when I did the get up, as I'm laying here, I'm bringing my hand all the way to the back of the bell here, because once I get the arm up here, until I'm back down on the ground, this elbow isn't moving, right? It's staying locked out. The only difference is once I go from laying down, once I roll up, then my arm moves here, right? So I'm not doing any extra lifting from, say, this position like I would on a push press or straight military press. So I'm grabbing all the way back here, right? And it's giving me a bit of a different, better grip to get my whole arm underneath and put my forearm right up against the bell. When I go to clean the kettlebell, as opposed to having my thumb on this side of the bell, I'm gonna have my pinky as close to me as possible. Because once I clean the kettlebell, maybe this really here, now my hand is actually in the front of the bell, right? You see that? Yeah, there, that's better. So it's in the front of the bell here, and it is hitting those two pressure points that I talked about to get the arm engaged. So as I press into here on my hand, the meat of the thumb, press there, that I'm going to feel a little bit more engagement on my bicep. If I press down here, I'm going to feel more engagement in my tricep. When I'm doing the get up and my hand is all the way back here, right? See how my hand is close to my body now as opposed to away from my body on the other side? Because once, as I said, once that arm gets up, it doesn't have to move again. But when I'm doing a press, I want a little more help from my bicep on the way up and on the way down. Yeah. Does that make sense? Take that as a yes. All right. Back to push press. Whew. Sometimes shock is used more for a mental aspect. Today is definitely for a grip aspect. All right, here we go. forgot. This. 4. So that's how I would use a heavier weight. Use the press for the eccentric, slow controlling for the eccentric. Well, how's your neck of the woods doing? Weather good wherever you're at? Is it hot there, cold there, sunny, humid? Sweat on the equipment. Alright, so now I'm going to do double snatch. Again, not something I've done here before. Done it before, just not for you beautiful people. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to show you a snatch real quick. Here, up, and down. Now, I can do that really well with one kettlebell. I believe I can do this really well with 2 kettlebells. The difference in the way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to start off with the swing first. So I'm going to heighten, swing, calculate extra momentum, and then I'm going to snatch both of them. The other difference is I'm not going to be coming down with both kettlebells like I normally do with one. I'm going to be re-racking and then going from there, right? This is a bit too much for me to do both down at the same time, at least right now. I've done it before, and I actually don't recommend doing that, unless, of course, you want to, and you are skilled and able to do it. But for me, we're not doing that tonight. All right, here we go. One more. Okay. A little bit more talk next time. Whew. The last one I thought I was going to lose it. Go right at you. Maybe I should have put it on. Felt good though. That's another aspect of how I think this stuff should really work. In the sense of, it should feel good, right? That doesn't mean it should feel challenging. It certainly should not hurt you, in the sense of like, ow! You might be a little sore the next day. I might be a little sore tomorrow from this. But it's something about being able to move this much weight, as I said earlier, that creates a sense of pride. That I think we all use a little more pride sometimes in what we do and how well we do things. And I think maybe the bigger answer there is that I could take more pride in what I do. The other few things that have been happening this week, again, I'm not hiding this from anyone, so I don't really talk about it yet, is that I have been seeing a therapist because I was trying to figure out why I would sometimes feel like there was a massive anaconda wrapped around my chest And basically, after the second session, the therapist was like, yeah, so that's called anxiety. That's what you have. I was like, why? Why would I have anxiety? She's like, oh, I don't know. And we talked about it for a while, and it makes sense. But one of the things that I clearly don't do enough of for myself is positive self-talk. Which is funny because I don't let any of my clients get away with that bullshit. Of speaking negatively about themselves. So, I've been trying to take my own advice and my therapist's advice and be a little more kind and gentle to myself. Like I ask you guys to do every single time I turn this channel off and go home for the night. So, yeah. So this makes me really proud of what I can do. All right, here we go. So that was 5 sets of push presses. So 5 times 5, 25. Volume-wise, at 106 pounds altogether. And push presses alone. I'm not going to do the math in my head right now, but if anyone wants to type that out, feel free to let me know what that number is. So that's the volume. So I guess it's what, 530 pounds volume-wise, just for the push presses alone. It's not to mention the squats and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of weight, I think. It's all right. Math in my head is not my strong suit. Math is not so my strong suit. But, you know, I'm working on it. We'll get there someday. Alright. Now, I told you about why we do this. Alright? So, what does that mean when we go up and weight? Well, you're not really going to know unless you try it, right? Now, I do know. This is a 60-pound kettlebell. 60 divided by 2.2, 58 pounds, 60 pounds, or kilograms, I mean. Let's try that again. Woo! Might actually say. 60 divided by 2.2 is how many kilograms this is. So, now I'm positive. So we got that. Now, if I were at my house, I would have 32 kilogram kettlebells, 36 kilogram kettlebells, and I would be going right to that as opposed to what I'm about to do now, because sometimes you really just have to work with what you got, right? So it's 27.7. So call that a 20 kilogram kettlebell, right? And then 32 pounds is 70, so 32 kilogram kettlebell is 70, right? 30 times 2.2, yes. So now we take a massive leap. If we go straight to the 40 kilogram kettlebell, that's about 88 pounds, right? What does that mean for what we're about to do here? Well, there's a couple different ways we can try to put this bad mamma jamma above our head. A couple weeks or months ago, you saw me do this with a get up. So I know I can hold this kettlebell above my head without it crashing down on me and killing me. Right? I know that. Doesn't mean I'm comfortable with the idea of doing it, but it doesn't mean that I'm scared to, right? So, what I'm going to do, we're going to do two ways we can get this up. Number one, 2 hands up, 1 hand down, all right? So I'm going to do a safety clean with it. I can press with both hands, move 1 hand down, and then bring that down. That's what we're going to do first, just to see how this works out. Make sure when I do a safety clean, this hand, I'm going to do my left hand first, is going to be all the way in, alright? The other hand's going to be in front. Actually, I'm going to do my right arm first. I'm going to do my right arm first because my left is stronger. All right, so one on the right. One on the left. Got it, right? Now the question of control comes in with the push press. And there's a really good chance I'm not going to have it. That's not me being negative. Why I say that? Because I need to be aware that if I need to, it is okay to bail out, right? Now, fortunately, there's nothing but a parking garage below us. So that's another reason why I wouldn't try this at my house. But we're going to go for a push press here. And we'll see what happens. Right now I'm kind of talking just to stall. Let the arms rest a little bit longer. Psych myself up a little bit more. All right. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that from your angle. As soon as I bent the knees, the arm went down like so. So I'm not ready on the right. That's okay. Which would mean, for something this heavy, I would go back to the 2 up, 1 down on the left, or on the right. So let's see what happens on the left. Just realized I had matched the kettlebell as well. not two. But I got one on the left, which is huge. It's a big deal for me, because I've never done that before. So I'm very proud of that. But because I don't like to give up on things, we're gonna wait a little bit longer. We're gonna try the right again. Now, the thing with me that I do know about myself as well is that if I go to do this again on the right and it doesn't happen, I'm going to do what I would have done anyway if I had only done the first attempt, and I will think about it the rest of the fucking night. And not in the beat myself up sense. It will be more in the what did I do incorrectly? Was my grip not strong enough? Was my feet not gripping the floor enough? Was I not as engaged in my core as I thought I was? Was my shoulder not set? And then I'll go back and I'll watch this video. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that was the problem right there. And that was the problem. And that was the problem. And it's okay to pick out these flaws, because the whole point is to change them, right? All right. Let's see if we can do this. Also, fun fact, the 40 kilogram kettlebell's nickname is Bulldog. Don't know why. Because it's short, stout. Yes! There we go. Got two on the right. Whew. Look at me. Oh man, that is satisfying. Alright, hold on, I gotta do one more on the left, because I did two on the right, and I already done it. But that's fucking awesome. Alright, here we go. Stay. There it is. Alright. Woo! Oh man. And you know what? I think we're just gonna end on that high note, man. That was phenomenal. That was a lot of fun. Definitely glad I decided to make this the workout tonight. Now, I will also say, this is not the only time I work out now, right? That's part of the reason why I started this channel, was to make sure I was getting my own workouts in. And then I wanted to make it so that I can have more fun with what I'm doing and talking about it. So I'm actually making more time for myself to work out during the week. And I tell you all that because I would not have gotten to that if I was just doing animal flow on Mondays, or just doing Pilates on Wednesdays, and just doing weight training once a week on Fridays. It's the consistency of working out that matters. That's another reason why I show you what I show you during the week, because maybe weight training isn't for you. I mean, that's not, you don't actually give a fuck about putting weight above your head, but body weight interests you. So we've got Pilates and we've got animal flow. Some people don't like the idea of Pilates. It's a whole lot of lying down. Now, I don't think they've ever done Pilates with me, which is probably why they didn't have fun with it, or why they didn't get as much of a workout as they wanted to. But I could be wrong, right? So, what I really do hope that you take from this channel is no matter what you do, if you see something you enjoy, you see something you find interesting, then you reach out, ask me questions. I can help you find a location near you, no matter where you're at. The Pilates community, the kettlebell community, even the animal flow community, they're all, it's worldwide, right? There's a network of people that we can connect you to. So if you're not in LA and you want to work with someone in person, I can help you connect there. If you're not in LA and you want to work with me virtually, you can always reach out. We can make that happen as well. And if you're in LA, feel free to stop by and let me know where you're at, and we can have a lot of fun with that. So I am now going to go grocery shopping at almost 8 o'clock at night, because that's what every parent wants to do. And because I know that's not what every parent wants to do, make sure you call your mom this Sunday and say, thanks for all the late night grocery shopping trips. Or if you don't want to do that, and you are married to a woman, just say, thanks for being the wonderful mom to our dog, cat, kids, snakes, birds, whatever it is you got. Or even if you don't have any of those and you just want to say, hey, thanks for everything you do, make sure you take time to do that too. So I'm going to head home, get everything ready for the weekend, and I will see all of you beautiful people on Monday night. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I love you. See you next week.